Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is Broman Clash right here, and I'm just gonna talk about something that's been on my mind, and that is the topic of, imagery. Why is it important to notify an image or to have an image? Because, people tend to remember images more than they remember words, which is true. But, sometimes an image can be corrupted, especially the image of the black man and the black woman. I know some of you are probably going to say, like, oh, we're going to hear about the black man, black woman. We're going to hear about, oh, this is what America has done to the black man, black woman. Yes, it's going to connect back, especially when they purposely put the black man as a savage, which was never the case. Because when they did that, we actually proved to them that we are more articulate than them. We are more civilized than them. And we proved on to the world that we did do something good in terms of technology, in terms of actual progression, as opposed to instead of bringing each other down like it's been, notarized nowadays. But, let's talk about history for a moment. And sometimes I'm not really good with dates, I'm not good with names sometimes, but picture this, and I talked about this before, and this is talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma. And how the way in Tulsa, Oklahoma, there used to be a place called Black Wall Street. That's right, there was a Black Wall Street. No, not with the stock markets and all that crap. And by the way, those that were involved in the slave trade, they were investing in the first stock. That's right, the slaves were the first stock, and the first insurance was on black people. Ain't that some shit? Now, let's talk about something else. I'm talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma, and how the way there was a Black Wall Street, and how the way the neighborhoods look very fine, lovely. White people envied it. Yeah, white neighbors envied a black neighborhood. And you want to know the funny part is? That was during the time of so-called segregation. Now, if you want people to separate from you, and they did just that, and they're doing well, and then you integrate your anger and your problems onto another people. And now some of you may say, are you bashing on white people or something like that? I'm like, no, it's historical fact. I think some people, especially here in America, hate fact. And then, to finish off the whole story, do you really hear about Black Wall Street? You never heard about what's going on in Tulsa, Oklahoma? Never, because it's never meant to be recorded. Because they're trying to teach, the youth, especially the black youth, that if you're black, you never contributed, which is a damn lie. And some of you may say, why do you have to curse to insinuate on what the hell you're trying to say? Now, the reason why I curse, either because of style, or because I'm so used to cursing, or it's just that whatever comes to my mind, I just have to say it. Sorry for that brief intermission, but let's just get on down with the whole thing. I mean, come on. You want to try to destroy an image of a people who's actually been proven more than enough times to actually overcome and to be prosperous. But then you choose to destroy that history. You choose to destroy the fact that the black man, the black woman, has done a lot more for civilization than it did for anybody else. And I remember Mr. Louis Farrakhan, he said something like this: the black man will rise like we did in the glorious pastime. Black people will rise like they did in the glorious pastime. And now, if you watch Do the Right Thing, you remember Pino? He said this. He said, "What paths you talking about? I mean, what did I miss?" And Mookie said this: "We started a civilization." And then Pino said something that any Eurocentric mind would say: "Man, keep dreaming, man. Then you woke up." Now, because America has been known to indoctrinate the truth. Have a biased truth. A biased truth is still a lie. I admit it. That's true. If you're unbiased with the truth, then people will be still pissed, but they'll say, you know what, man? He kept his word. He told the truth. How can I get mad at him? Then everything starts to make sense. And why the imagery of black people are constantly being assassinated. You want to know why they're being assassinated? Because they don't want the youth, the future, the people who are going to be the holders of the torch, who are going to be the spark that will, because we are just the powder keg. See, my generation, we could be that spark, and then the generation that comes after us, they will be the torch, but they got to carry themselves. But we are cradling the logs, which are the plants. But sad enough, it kind of makes you think that why assassinate an image? And like I said before, it goes right back to the youth. Because the youth, when they're young, their minds are like sponges. And, when it comes right down to it, when you teach the youth right, they will do right. If you teach the youth wrong, they will do wrong. Now, some of you may say that it will go back to parents, and that is true. Okay, dad walks out. Mom is bitter. Some may say that's a bad concoction right there, because the dad is irresponsible, or he's a coward, or, mama did some very spiteful shit and tried to incarcerate his ass. Mom, bitter, struggling single parent, doing her job, but possibly harbors, resentment. And the reverse roles can be the same thing. The fathers can be resentful and the mothers walk out. But if the youth have like a very positive drive, along with positive guidance, that cannot necessarily be their parents. See, parents, they're meant to guide your decisions, but really, they're not meant to be blueprints because they made mistakes that cost them their careers. Now, how does this tie in with imagery, and especially with imagery of the black man? I mean, we follow the blueprints of what our oppressor has done to us for a long time. And yet, well, where does that lead? It leads nowhere. Because we end up just going to destroying ourselves, destroying the community, expressing discontent and rage through violent means. And then, when we do have peace, we can't stay still. And just like what Malcolm X once said, we're nonviolent with those who are nonviolent with us. If there is no violence, then there's no problem. But if there is violence, then there will be a problem. Because, every time when I see a black man, I see myself. And then every time I see a black woman, I see my future wife. Hell, she's pretty. She's got a good head on her shoulders. And, she's healthy. But one thing I will say is this, when it comes right down to it, if you notice, I was expressing positive values. I see myself as a positive man. Sure, I have flaws, but I know I am positive. Because, come on. I'm not out here trying to cause any trouble. I'm not here harming anybody. I'm not here hitting anybody. But one thing I will say is this. When you say, what happened to every good man when they walk out of your life, or when you spurn their help? That's the real mistake right there. Because the bad outweighs the good. When the good really outshines the bad. Sure, there may be a lot more bad on this side than good, but the good will always outshine the bad because it shows that they have a little compassion. When they're outright evil or have more inclination to being evil than good, then you cannot help them. And then, when it comes right down to it, how's this tying with imagery? Because Some people prefer to go with a popular image more than fact. Barack Obama, look at him, suave, sophisticated, has wife and kids, you know, typical family man. And look at George Bush. He's the same way, except he's white. Now, the reason why I'm pointing that out because the difference is obvious. But behind the image, they're doing atrocious things. I mean, sure, it may look like they're doing good. Well, in Bush's case, he fucked up badly. So fuck him. I just had to say that. I hate Bush. Sorry about that intermission. Now, we're going to talk about, Barack Obama and his image. And in a way, behind the scenes, he's another political actor. He's just a face for the White House. A black face for the White House. And some of you may say, that's a bit disrespectful. Why you guys say it like that? Because, think about it. If there was no black man up there in office, people would have been on a riot. And now, it doesn't make any sense. I'm not talking about like black people should get up and get guns and all that crap. Look, just be mindful. The images that you see are not real. They only are there to project an image towards general America, which is, white America. Yes, general America is white America. Sure, there may be some Asian Americans, some African Americans, and Native Americans. It's Hispanic Americans. That should be a coin term, Hispanic Americans. But, if you catch my drift, towards any person that looks at a colored person or non-white, they will have a stereotype with them. But when it comes down to, white people, that imagery, they're trying to cut it down so they don't look as bad. But, people always will have history. But history means his story as opposed to mystery, meaning my story. The mystery will outshine history, but history is written in the eyes of the victor, meaning that it is biased. But the mystery is untainted, unfiltered, and it tells the actual truth. But it has to be written by the right hands, as opposed to the one who wants to corrupt it. And then how does imagery tie into that? Well, the person who controls the image controls the history, thus control the population. That's how imagery ties in within the black man, black woman, matter of fact, people in general. Because whoever controls the image controls the people, controls the society, thus control, their whole entire lives. That's why imagery is so powerful. And with that, YouTube, I say, hey, hope you have a great night tonight. This is Broman Class saying I won. And I say, I hope you have a great night. Catch y'all later.